Hello, so got a little yoga bite here for you. We're going to have a look at crescent moon pose, and then we're going to have a look at what you can move into from the crescent moon pose, but we'll start by looking at the pose itself. So we're going to start kneeling down on the floor in hero pose. So you're sitting on your heels, legs together, and just take a moment to just center yourself, prepare for the practice, and getting yourself set up, noticing if there's any areas of the body that you just need to pay particular attention to before you get started. And so you want to be quite far back on your mat, towards the end of the mat. And then you're going to bring your right foot forward, and then your knee is going to come over the ankle. So this is the low crescent lunge. So you bring your hands down to the floor. So you can obviously come into this from tabletop or from downward dog. Just stepping this foot in between the hands. And then looking forward, bringing the chest up. If you're comfortable here, you can bring the hands up to the knee, not pressing through the knee too much. Bringing the hands to heart center once you're stabilized. You should have this nice flowing line from the knee up the front of the body. And then to bring this into crescent, inhale the arms up. And then on the exhale, start bringing the body back to make a nice crescent shape. If you're extremely flexible in the back, you might be able to reach back and grab the heel. However, most of us will be having to gradually move back with the exhales. Oops. The knee might move forward of the heel in this pose, that's fine. You might find that you want to bring your foot in slightly. As long as the knee doesn't go past the toes, you're absolutely fine. Inhale it back up. Exhale the hands back down. We're going to tuck the back toes and come through downward dog to do the same on the other side. So exhaling back. Inhaling the foot forward. Dropping the back knee, flattening the foot. So again, get your position in first. And then you can bring yourself up. Hands rest on the knee while you just get yourself settled. Then hands to heart center. You can stay here, or you can start to stretch the arms up, and then slowly start to move backwards on the exhales to come into that full crescent shape. If this is uncomfortable through the knee that's on the floor, you can put a blanket under the knee to pad it out. Inhaling up. Exhale, bringing the hands back down to the floor. And again, stepping back into downward dog, just to stretch the spine out. And just take a couple of breaths here. And that's the low crescent lunge. So now we're going to have a look at the high lunge. So bringing the right foot between the hands, you're not dropping the back knee this time, so you're going to stay in that lunge position. You want to pull the inner thighs in towards each other in order to reach up. And as you do that, the back leg should drop closer to the ground. So you're getting again that crescent shape. And then inhaling up. And if you're comfortable, as you exhale, coming through into that crescent pose again. If you start to lose your balance, just hold yourself where you are until you find your balance again. Inhaling back up, exhaling the hands back down, and then stepping back to downward dog. Inhaling the opposite foot forward, getting yourself settled, pulling the thighs in towards each other so that you can come up comfortably. Get your base here, make sure you're grounded through the feet before reaching up. And then exhaling to start bending back. Inhaling up, exhaling back down, dropping the back knee, coming back into Vajrasana. And again, taking a moment when you finish practicing the pose just to see how it's affected the body. How does the body feel now after doing the pose? So that's the crescent lunge. Once you've mastered that, especially the low lunge, you can then look at moving into the monkey pose or the splits pose. So from that low crescent lunge, I'm going to take a block because I can't do the full pose. So from the low crescent, and you want to be in the position where your knee will come in line with the toes here. So that's the setup you want. And then you can start to walk that foot out, slowly coming closer and closer to the splits. And the block is just used to rest that back leg against when you get to your full position. Just to try and stabilise the hips a little bit. And just hold here and breathe into the position that you can get to. And then holding it for a maximum of 30 seconds. And then slowly walking the foot back. And you can come through downward dog here, or you can just come back into tabletop or Vajrasana before then starting on the opposite side. So again, getting set up so that the knee is over the toes, so the back thigh is already engaged and stretching, and then start walking through that front foot. Seeing how far you can go. And then once you get to your maximum position, using the block just to stabilise that back leg. And breathing into it. Holding for 30 seconds, 5 breaths. And then slowly walking yourself back out of it. Once you can do the full split pose, you can then look at doing the crescent in the splits. So again, into the splits, bringing your arms up, and then slowly with the breath moving into that back bend. So once you've done the crescent lunge, you do want to do a little counter stretch for the back. So I recommend coming into child's pose, just bringing the hands down. You might want to use a block to rest your forehead on, or you might just want to come straight down to the ground, or you might just want to use your hands. You don't want to rest your head straight on the floor, but you're just having that nice counter stretch through the back. And you just want to stay here for about a minute, just allowing the spine to stretch in the opposite direction. If you're doing a floor, you can just do the counter stretch for a few breaths and then move on with the floor. You should be able to feel the muscles settling. You should be able to feel that counter stretch, just working through those muscles that have worked. I hope you found this little yoga bite useful for practicing the crescent moon pose, and maybe introducing it into your classes. For example, if you're doing the sun salutations, you might want to put the crescent lunge in before stepping back into full plank, or before coming forward into the forward fold to raise yourself back up again. There are plenty of opportunities to introduce that pose into your everyday practice. Thank you for watching. Namaste.